site.
Yeah, okay, so we're already recording this motherfucker. It's fine. We're just gonna keep we're just gonna keep the audio natural, whatever. I can edit this out later.
Okay.
But yeah, just pretend like it's not there. It's just us totally not recording ourselves.
I mean, we're always acting stupid.
Yeah, that is true. Alright, let's present. Okay. Welcome to my stupid FNAF presentation. Behold, the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, aka the most convoluted storytelling in existence, made by me. So yeah, basic rules to go by in order to understand the entire lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay. As I mentioned before, technology is way more advanced in this universe than in current life, so this doesn't apply to any standards with us. As I mentioned before, in 1987 they had facial recognizing robots versus us barely getting animatronics to dance, look like they're dancing at the Beauty and Beast animatronics at Tokyo Disney. Which is a good ride. We need to go to Tokyo Disney.
We need to go to Tokyo Disney. We need to go to all the Tokyos.
We do need to go to all the Tokyos. Okay. So yeah. 2. The concept of Remnant. So it's not mentioned explicitly in the games. It is developed within the books. Basically, Remnant is sort of like liquefied spirit of a person, and it's often created from intense motion or pain. So when a lot of these kids die in this game, their souls fuse within the mechanics of the animatronics. That is how they are able to possess them.
Okay.
But you have to be reminded, the number of animatronics does not equate to the number of dead children. Okay. I think, if my memory serves me right, there's at least 12 kids who are dead.
Okay. How many animatronics are
there? There are many. We'll establish, there's a lot of animatronics they introduce in the games. Some of them non-canon, some of them canon, because they get introduced in the bonus game that they count at the very end of the series.
So, and Remnant is kind of like Poltergeist, but not.
Pretty, it's sort of, it's kind of like that. Just basically, the number of kids that were slaughtered by the Purple Man, those are the ones we want to focus on. But as someone like me who's followed this game, I do not know where most of them go. So it's like playing a game of where are you in the body? Okay, it's just kind of okay. Shit. So yeah, as mentioned before, we still don't have 100% clear idea of timeline of things. I'm kind of sort of following Matt Pat's game theory timeline he made recently, but even that's been kind of I don't really believe in part of the things, so things might have happened before, things might have happened after. I'm just gonna try to put it to how it looked, how I understand it.
Okay.
But it probably my idea is probably non-canon. Everyone's probably non-canon.
Okay, it's a little wacky.
But yeah, and so and it just mentioned on this point, things that aren't mentioned in the games specifically do get filled up with the lore of the books and other media associated with the franchise. It's just kind of a collaboration of best guessing.
All right.
So yeah, point 4, William always comes back.
Always. Okay.
And point 5, Michael needs therapy.
Yeah, I get that from your sketches. He needs therapy.
He needs therapy. So, let's start at the beginning. 2 households, both alike in dignity. One of goodness, the other of shit.
Okay.
So yeah, we're introduced to 2 families. The Emily family and the Afton family. I have no idea why he chose Emily family for the surname. It's weird. But let's go back. Let's go start events pre-1977. I'm using 1977 in general because that is the origin date of Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
So I'm just assuming counterparts in real life. The whole Fazbear Entertainment starts in 1977. So, pre-1977, we know that Henry Emily is a young man from the Midwest United States with aspirations of building animatronics. Like, that's what he wants to do. He marries, and he has a daughter named Charlotte. She's referred to as Charlie in the books and in the game, so I'm assuming her name's Charlie. So, William Afton is a young man from England. I'm assuming he's from England because he has an accent, and they don't explain like why the British. It's weird. I'm assuming that he immigrates to America. He either marries before or after this, like the immigration, but we know he has 3 children: Michael Afton, Crying Child Afton, because no one knows his name.
Okay.
I think he's been referred to as Chris because one of the characters in the book is named Chris Afton, and then Elizabeth Afton. I'm just gonna say Crying Child for the most part because it's what I'm used to. So yeah, he has 3 kids. I do not know if either Crying Child or Elizabeth is born like one before the other.
Okay, and we all assume Michael is the oldest.
Michael is always the oldest, regardless. So that was that. So a little bit before 1977, Henry Emily and William Afton meet. They become good friends. They realize they have, similar interests, and they want to combine their talents and start a business. But what kind of business do they start? I'll tell you what. Fredbear's Family Diner. It lasts from 1977 to 1983. For good reason.
Oh, goodness.
So, basically, it's a similar place to Chuck E. Cheese. In this case, like, it's kind of more inspiration from Showbiz Pizza Palace, which, like, Chuck E. Cheese kind of derived from. And it's just basically that after the success of this restaurant, Fazbear Entertainment forms, and new sister locations after Fredbear's Family Diner are referred to as Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. So that is like the equivalent of Chuck E. Cheese. That's the inspiration. And then specifically at the Fazbear locations, they have Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, Foxy the Pirate Fox.
Okay.
And it's assuming that Henry was responsible for building most of the animatronics. Like, William helped in some aspects, but mostly I think he was, like, in charge of doing, like, all the managerial aspect, of running a business, like, running a restaurant. And just, like, important note that there is a character within the games only referred to as Phone Guy because he's never given an official name.
That guy on the phone constantly?
Like,
that fucker that's always like, hey, why are you always here, bitch? Why don't you leave?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just of note that he starts working at Fredbear's Family Diner, and he gets to a point to where he's, like, either, like, mid or upper management, like, of other employees, and basically leaving training tapes. So, the pizzerias make a ton of money, and they're super popular because Henry's animatronics are crazy good because they're fucking walking in 1977.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But the kicker is they have, like, oh, it's not, okay.
It's my phone.
It's your phone, okay.
My phone's a bitch. You go on.
So, basically, the animatronics that Henry and William make are super popular, but mostly what gets them, like, on the top of the hit is the invention of the Springlock suits. What's a Springlock suit, you might be asking?
Oh, that sounds bad.
It's a masterpiece of animatronic technology. It's basically, like, okay, so it's it's an animatronic, but you're able to push aside the skeleton of the animatronic and hop in and wear it as a suit.
Oh no!
I like the tone. You're thinking ahead.
Oh no!
So they build 2 specific types of suits with this function: the titular Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Let me get this is a stupid edit. This is what they probably would have looked like. It was probably more akin to, like, this.
I'm already not liking this.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, it plays on your fear of, like, the uncanny valley with animatronics.
Yeah.
So the Fredbear's Diner location and the Freddy Fazbear's locations all have these suits for employees to use. However, there's a massive design flaw with
I knew it.
So the thing is that with every suit, in order to push away the skeleton inside, they are equipped with what are referred to as spring locks.
Springs.
Springs. So yeah, they're basically like springs. So yeah, in order to protect the human body, they're just like they gotta push the skeleton skin aside. The thing is that these spring locks are easily able to set off, especially with high amounts of moisture. So unless you are not properly trained or you like breathe on it in the wrong way, these things get loose. Multiple employees are caught in what are referred to as spring lock failures and either suffer major injuries or death.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Going inside a fucking thing, you're going to get crushed. Fucking bitch.
I want you to remember that. Okay. So, to prevent further injuries or deaths, the Fredbear and Spring Bonnie costumes are decommissioned from further suit wear at all existing Freddy's locations.
The kids go in the fucking suits, don't they? Fucking bitches!
But William is aware of where the suits are and how they function.
Oh, damn it, William. Fuck ass.
Let's get to the big...
Missing kids.
The missing children's incident.
No, Henry's daughter. Oh
my god, I love that you, like, don't know anything, but you're thinking way ahead. So... Unsure why it happens, but William Afton begins his legacy of being the man behind the slaughter with a little girl named Susie at one of the Freddy Fazbear locations. Mm-hmm. My guess is like, William and Henry were having tensions, being business partners. people always say like sexual tension.
More likely that Henry and William were pissed off because William was like, dude, you made suits that killed people.
I don't know who is really responsible for the spring lock suit. I think Henry was starting to be like, I think they were just like both like, we have like a lot of death on our hands. Mm-hmm. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So, William lures Susie to the back of the restaurants by promising where her dead dog is.
Oof.
He probably killed the dog.
Yeah.
He proceeds to murder 4 other children, referred to as Fritz, Jeremy, which is a name that just keeps popping up.
Oh,
I don't know why. Gabriel, and Cassidy, using the Spring Bonnie suit to lure them in the back of the pizzeria. It is referred by Phone Guy in one of the cassette tapes that there has been noticeable use of the Spring Bonnie suit. Like, it's been moving.
Okay, so Bonnie is used a lot.
Bonnie's being used a lot. Spring Bonnie specifically, because he's the golden rabbit. So, Cassidy is important because...
She's a very angry girl.
She is a very angry girl. She's very angry, and it's gonna come back.
Okay.
The bodies were never found by the police, because, according to FNAF 1 lore, it is implied that they were stuffed into the suits of the animatronics and left to decay there.
Okay.
But they haven't been possessed yet. Like, they're not possessed yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Not technically.
So they're just decaying there.
They're just, like, left to decay there. The puppet takes life before 1983. I don't know when it happens, but it's important. So, remember Henry's daughter?
Yeah.
Charlie Emily finds herself locked outside of Fredbear's and in the rain by the other children, only to be discovered by William Afton.
Yeah, I knew it.
William Afton murders her in the back alley. A security puppet animatronic. Let me get that photo out. Let me show you, because I hate this thing with goddamn passion.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
That's a nightmare in and of itself. That's like a mime and a...
I know. So, this, like, puppet was originally designed to track children using specific coded bracelets. Like, for her, it was green. And goes out to rain to go, like, find her, because that's its job. Like, it's supposed to find the kid. After being checked. But, like, it was being held back because, like, someone put, like, presents on top of the box it pops out of. So, it wasn't able to get out in time. So, basically, it's crawling out in the rain, it's short-circuiting, and it just lays on top of her body, allowing Charlie's spirit to possess the body due to her remnant. So, unable to shake away all these bad incidents that keep happening, Fazbear Entertainment is forced to shut down this specific Freddy Fazbear location. This one's out of the picture for now. Henry, so I don't know if it's I don't know if it's in the books. I haven't read the books, and I need to read the books. So I'm assuming Henry, in his anger, gets William arrested, but because of the lack of evidence of the bodies, William gets off scot-free. Basically.
What the hell? Isn't Charlotte's body there?
I don't know what happens with Charlie's body. I'll be perfectly
Oh, goodness. Okay, so we know that her remnant takes over the doll, but we don't know where her body goes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know where that body goes. Like, it's a very vague, like, because most of these are, like, done in, like, Atari style, like, mini games, so I don't know what the symbolism is regarding where her body went.
Okay.
But
he's on a criminal database?
He's placed, like, I think his name is in a criminal database because it is mentioned again in FNAF 2 for good reason.
Okay.
Henry leaves his position at Fazbear Entertainment because honestly, like, why would you stick around at the place where your daughter died?
And where you think your coworker killed her?
Probably.
And like you would be thinking like, that guy's gonna kill me.
Yeah, but he's not out of the picture. He'll come back. Maybe. Bite of 83!
Oh yeah, the thing you were mentioning.
Yes. And the events of FNAF 4 because they are in relation. So, Crying Child saw some shit. Whether it was like his dad putting like an employee into one of the old suits or his dad killing a kid and putting him into the old suit. He saw something like shit. And he's been trying like to avoid going to Fredbear's all week. Just
trying to avoid it.
Trying to avoid the situation. Michael does not help because he's an older brother. He's probably being tortured by his father, let's be perfectly honest here, so he's probably venting it out on his little brother. And he keeps scaring Crying Child with a Foxy Max, like jump scaring him out of nowhere. On the day of Crying Child's birthday party, Michael and his group of friends shove his brother into the mouth of Fredbear.
Yike.
Due to the force of an animatronic mouth crushing on a little kid's head, Crying Child's head is crushed.
Yike.
So, Crying Child is put into what is assumably a coma for the extent of his injuries, but inevitably he dies at the hospital. And there's many outcomes that come from this. Crying Child possesses Fredbear due to Remnant. William grieves and swears to bring him back one way or another. So, and like, this is the thing I was trying to explain to you, that either FNAF 4 is Crying Child living out a nightmare scenario in his coma because, just because of, like, the traumatic of the experience, considering all the animatronics look like, hang on, look like that.
Oh, jeez. That's how they look in FNAF 4?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
They're very different than the video you showed me the other time. What the hell?
It's crazy. Yeah, like, there's so many animatronics, I'm telling you. These are referred to as the nightmare animatronics.
Or, what's the other scenario?
That Michael is being tormented by his father for, basically causing the death of his little brother. And it's mentioned in the book specifically that there's, like, a tiny little disc that enables, the human perception to get warped, so you're able to see the animatronics as, like, these living creatures. Ooh. So assuming, like, his father was using the illusion things in order to test the technology for further use, but also torture his son because William Afton's a fucking dick.
Yeah, considering William Afton is the reason all of this is happening.
But, like, as mentioned before, there's also the situation where I don't know if Michael is the Crying Child and there's a different older brother character, but it is assumed that, like, after, like, Michael/Crying Child died, William Afton rebuilt him as the animatronic we know today, and basically is using the illusionary device in order to keep his son away from the place because he doesn't want them going there anymore.
Possible.
But I don't know.
Because nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. Fredbear's Family Diner is permanently closed. No more Fredbear. Everything related to Fredbear is never mentioned again. Like,
everything is shut.
Everything shut down. Except for the Fazbears. So, Freddy Fazbear's, like, their locations are still open, but they're not using the golden suits anymore. That is important. Fazbear Jr. opens! The events of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This takes place in 1987. We have confirmation about that.
Okay, so it's 3 years after all the deaths of the kids.
4 years.
4 years, sorry.
So, what you need to know about Fazbear's Juniors. It's just basically Fazbear Entertainment wants to do a grand revival of of like Freddy Fazbear's like get out of all those rumors about those fucking dead kids we had, and just basically like start a new restaurant with like open door concepts and brand new animatronics. These are referred to as the Toy Animatronics. So you got Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Toy Foxy, but she's referred to as Mangle because like the idea is that like the kids keep pulling her apart and like just playing out with her body pieces, so she's never completely whole again. Balloon Boy and the puppet.
Yeah, the puppet.
As in Charlie the puppet.
Charlie the puppet.
Yeah. Let's see. Specifically, the toy animatronics are fitted with facial recognition software in order to prevent more murders. They are linked to that criminal database, specifically to make sure certain employees don't come back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
So, but they also, this location specifically stores the older versions of the animatronics from the previous Fredbear's and the Fredbear and Fazbear location. So they are referred to as the Withered Set. So Withered Freddy, Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica. I put Withered Bonnie twice. Why did I do that?
Withered Chica.
Withered Chica and Fredbear, who is being referred to as Golden Freddy at this point because this was the second game. Phone guy here is serving as a managerial position at this location, specifically overseeing most like the security guards.
Oh, so he's alive?
Yes, he's still alive. William Afton assumes a different identity to work as a night guard and is promoted to day shift.
So the recognition software didn't work for shit.
No. And Jeremy Fitzgerald, who is the player character for most of the week, assumes the night guard position.
Oh, the Jeremy name.
Yeah, it keeps coming back. Scott just likes using the name Jeremy, but this is Jeremy Fitzgerald, so he's not Mike.
Okay, he's not Mike.
He's not Mike. I have a theory, so I'll get to that.
Bring that later.
I'll get to that right now. So, more murders and the bite of 87. So, William starts luring and murdering kids again in the spring Bonnie suit.
So he's in the Bonnie suit.
He's in the Bonnie suit because they brought all the stuff from Fredbear's. He found the Bonnie suit at like the location. Like it was implied like at first because we didn't know about Spring Bonnie until like the third game.
Oh.
It was implied that he was using Golden Freddy's suit. So, but in all likely, like he just like Spring Bonnie. I think he was like I have this like weird canon that like Henry and William like were very like.
Gay?
Like, no, not gay. Not gay. Okay. No, I was gonna say like they were performers. Like they did the Fredbear and Spring Bonnie performances like for them like themselves for like the first few years, and then they got someone else to do it.
Okay.
But basically, like
so he was in the Bonnie suit most of the time, and then Henry would be in the Golden Bear. So
likely.
So so like he just prefers being in his own old suit.
Yeah. Anyway, the toy animatronics start going haywire because of his presence. Like they. Like, the thing is, with the with the facial recognition software, they can see people, but they can't see past animatronic masks. Like, specifically, Jeremy's given a spare head of Freddy to wear in case one of the animatronics ever get into his office, because they can't recognize, they can't recognize themselves. So, it's assuming that, like, the same thing with the Spring Bonnie suit. They can't recognize William, but they know something's going down with the security guards. They start attacking Jeremy because
he's a night guard.
Yeah, he's a night guard. So as the days progress, as more kids get murdered, they just start getting more aggro. Charlie, as the puppet, puts the souls of the original 5 children who were murdered into the bodies of the withered animatronics in order to stop William from committing more murders.
Okay.
So there was a thing. This is a recent thing that. MapHap speculated, and it's kind of implied in the books that now Golden Freddy is canonically now has the soul of both Cassidy and the Crying Child.
Wasn't Cassidy and Bonnie?
No, like they weren't placed into the souls by then.
Okay. They were just stored in there for decay purposes.
Yes, they were in there for decay purposes, but Charlie brought their souls back.
Okay, and just put them
in there. So now Cassidy's sharing Golden Freddy with Crying Child.
Okay,
and it's implied that, like, you know, given like how some lore is speculated in the books, it makes sense technically because There's 2 different personalities for Golden Freddy.
Okay.
They also, like, everyone's attacking Jeremy. Like, everyone's attacking Jeremy.
Everyone is attacking Jeremy.
William witnesses the puppet putting the souls back into the children. This is important. So, eventually, William figures out, oh shit, I'm gonna get caught again. Bails! And then, basically, like, phone guy promotes Jeremy immediately to the day position because William left, and obviously, he needs someone. Okay, so...
Oh god.
Fritz Smith is the new night security guard and is immediately fired the next night for tampering with the animatronics.
Oh shit.
So my theory is that... Okay, so... It's weird. So, the only night guards that ever get fired are, like, Fritz Smith, Mike Schmidt. The key thing is, like, they both have a history of, like, tampering with the animatronics. And it's after the 7th night where you're able to, like, customize the AI of the animatronics. So that's where, like, everyone does, like, the, oh, I gotta do the 20-20-20 challenge, like, things. So, I figured that because Michael is William Afton's son, and in later games, like, it's implied that he has some knowledge of how these animatronics work. I have this theory that, like, Michael, like, under an assumed name, went to go see what was up with the animatronics, and then, like, try to, like, bring them back to regular, but he just got, like, caught and, like, tampering with them. So, yeah, like, I think, like, from FNAF 2 and this point onward, like, Michael Afton is the protagonist.
Okay.
Jeremy Fitzgerald in the day is bitten by Mangle. Oof. Yeah, Mangle is not a nice animatronic.
Yeah, looking at her.
Yeah. Like, it's been said that, like, she's been possessed by the soul of the dog that William killed, but I don't know. Basically, it's an injury extent enough to remove his frontal lobe, but there is still speculation whether he survived the attack or not. Because, okay, MatPat was introducing the fact that, like, some guy around, like, the late 1800s, early 1900s, while he was working on a railroad, while he was working on, like, a railroad track, like, a spike, like, lodged straight into his head and, like, took out his frontal lobe, but he survived. This is the thing, like, with frontal lobe injuries, is that, like, personality changed, like, up the wazoo, so he, like, lost all inhibitions to, like, of fear and whatnot.
Like, technically you can... I was, like, living without a frontal lobe, technically, like... everything kind of changes. Yeah. Everything.
But you can still live, right?
You can technically still live. Like, all your cognitive abilities go out the fucking window. And your motor control is gone to shit. Oh. Like, you can't make form and simple thoughts, and you won't move. You can't move without a fucking frontal lobe. You're kind of stuck.
That makes me sad, though.
Like, a frontal lobe injury you can live with. Without a frontal lobe, you're kind of... stuck in a bed.
Oh man, that makes it so much sadder, because I had this headcanon that, like, okay, everyone has the headcanon that Jeremy Fitzgerald survives the bite of 87 and they're gay with Michael.
Yeah, but, like, you can't reason, you can't form simple thoughts, you're just kind of, you're a vegetable.
Yeah. Not sad now. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, if partial frontal lobe removal is survivable, not full frontal lobe.
Well, I didn't say the entire thing was removed, so I don't know. I have to look back at the tapes.
I mean, I'd hope it was only partial. Partial is survivable.
I wanted to be gay Michael.
I'd wanted to be gay Michael. I was very confused if he was surviving, because that'd just be a sad existence.
Yeah. So, anyway, basically because of this incident, Fazbear Juniors is forced to close, and all the toy animatronics are fucking scrapped.
Good.
Except the puppet.
Of course, the puppet.
A new pizzeria is set to be made with a lower budget, reusing the older animatronics and just, like, remodeling them so they're, newer and cool. But they can't walk anymore. Like, Fazbear Entertainment said, no more of that. You stay on stage, you. Alright, what did I put here? So, William strives to rebuild the crying child using the power of Remnant. And maybe for his own benefit, Question mark, question mark, question mark. William creates Afton Robotics and makes a new pizzeria franchise.
Of course he does.
Yeah. So
third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm. Circus Baby's Pizza World, which is anywhere between 1987 and 1992-ish, because I don't know, like again, I don't know if, like, okay, so it's gonna bug me so much. There's speculation on which Afton kid dies first, like, cause I don't know. I think it was Crying Child first and Elizabeth second. It could be like any of these kids. Like it could be Elizabeth or the Crying Child. Like things
we haven't heard much about Elizabeth yet.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Anyway, I'm just assuming because, you know, for good reason, like I will get to like in just a second. Like I think it's Crying Child first, Elizabeth second. So Circus Baby's Pizza World. It's much like Freddy Fazbear's, except there's clowns. Let me get the photos up.
Oh, these clowns. I hate it. I already hate it.
So we
I hate it.
I hate it too. So you have Circus Baby, Bolora, the Mini Arenas, the Bitty Babs, I think they're called Bitty Babs, Funtime Freddy with Bon Bon, the puppet, and Funtime Foxy.
I hate all of it.
No. So, yeah. William uses the Funtime animatronics as an experiment into Remnant injection, as well as fitting them with technology to lure and capture children.
Oh.
Like, okay, yeah, it's meant, like, if you look at the Easter eggs for Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, they have, like, they're huge, they have big enough cavities to store children, and specifically, they're Remnant. Like, there's a device that is known as the scooper, able to, like, basically scoop out an entire animatronic and all the Remnant it's collected, and just, like, basically also, like, put it all back together and just, like, infuse the Remnant into the animatronics.
Yikes.
Yeah. But there's some good news, in a way, question mark. Circus Baby's Pizzeria opens for its first day and immediately closes due to a gas leak. That's fake, though, because Elizabeth is lured in by Circus Baby and killed by her. William kills his own daughter.
God damn it, William!
God damn it, William! You're like 2 for 1 on your kids. So her soul possesses Baby because of her Remnant.
He's a dick to girls.
And then just basically, after that, like, Remnant cancels the project and puts the animatronics into an underground storage facility. It is very implied that this storage facility is, like, deep below the Afton household, given the evidence, like, because you can go into this, like, room and find security cameras of the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 house. Like, this is the 5th game, so I'm just in reference. It's just called Sister Location.
Okay.
William continues to rent out animatronics to different restaurant franchises under Circus Baby Entertainment and Rentals.
Okay.
So we come to the events of Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, which takes place anywhere between 1987 and 1993.
Okay, so we have no set time.
We don't really have a set time of when this happens. It could be like a few years after the bite of 87. I like to think it's before Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Just because of...
what the hell's going on?
Yeah, just what the hell's going on? It makes sense to me. Like, and I explain it, but things get kind of, like, out of order here.
Okay.
Like, for me, it's, like, there's one event that, like, it comes after Five Nights at Freddy's 1, but I really think it should happen before Five Nights at Freddy's 1.
Okay.
But I'll explain. So, Michael, who's referred to in the game as Eggs Benedict. What? Okay, so, like there's, like, a little, like, hand unit computer and, like, an AI voice, like, greeting Michael every time he goes down there, and it's just basically, like, the thing's out of order, so every time he presses, like, he tries pressing the thing, like, it doesn't, like, register anything he types in, so it just, like, his name just comes out to as Eggs Benedict.
Okay, keep going.
So... He does Daddy a favor, and he goes down to the storage facility to maintain the animatronics and try to put his sister back together.
Oh, that's sad.
However, he's in the crossfire of a bunch of sentient animatronics who are out for his father's blood and wanting out.
Yeah, no.
And it does not help that he looks like his daddy.
Yeah.
So, Okay, so it's okay. I have to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone but Baby is not possessed. It's just basically like enhanced AI or something that's like powered due to the Remnant, I think. So none of them are dead children, as far as I know.
What
But
about okay?
Baby's the only possessed one down here.
Okay, the puppet's not here. No,
The puppet's not here. No one else is here.
Okay, it's just Baby.
It's just Baby. So Baby manipulates Michael into basically setting them all free over the course of the week. This game is a fucking nightmare because it's the first game like in the long line of games where you're not just sitting at a desk and like switching between monitors. You're like actually like going out into like Belora's room and like sneaking past her while she's dancing. She can only like sense things like in her proximity, like by like listening. So when she's like walking by, you like when she's like dancing by, let's like be perfectly honest here, you just like have to stay still and hope for God she's not hearing you. Like you have to go into like a breaker room at one point and like fix some stuff, but like Funtime Freddy's like coming in closer, like trying to find you, and you have to keep pressing like Bonbon's like audio, be like, "Go back to sleep, you little shit!"
Oh God.
You have to like go to another like I think like one of the mechanical rooms. I just forgot which one. Parts and services. Like, but it's a fucking long hallway, and like Funtime Foxy's just like creeping around trying to find you.
That's terrifying.
It's a terrifying game. It's a spooky game. Oh, my favorite part. There's a part like I think it's like night 3. You're just I think like night 2. You don't make it home because you're just basically knocked out by Baby and the others, and you're put into a Springlot suit. So basically, the entire night is just basically Michael trapped in a Springlot suit, like desperately trying to keep the spring locks from going like snapping, and meanwhile like all these little tiny ballerina things are like crawling like around, and like it's like it was the most hectic thing for like anyone ever to see.
Oh Jesus.
So yeah.
Oh God.
So he was under this impression like doing all this would like set his sister free.
Mm-hmm.
But little did he know that Baby, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy had the plan of their own, and that was basically to combine themselves and form Ennard, which is this amalgamation of hell.
I hate it.
I know, I hate it too.
Ugh.
I hate it. And there's a canonical end, and there's a non-canonical end. The non-canonical end is that Michael gets out.
Oh jeez. So Michael runs.
The canonical end is that Michael gets scooped.
Oh, Jesus.
By Ennard. And basically, Ennard takes over Michael's body by basically entering into his skin like a suit and escapes the facility.
Why is not the non-canonical end the ending?
Because Scott doesn't want happy endings for Michael. So.
I hate it.
Possessing Michael starts great, ends terribly.
Of course it does.
Basically, Michael's body starts decaying rapidly over the course of the next few weeks, because of course it fucking does. You're wearing your brother as a goddamn skin suit.
It does not work.
It does not work. So that's why that's why
you draw him as a skeleton.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened.
He decays.
He decayed. So, Ennard is forced to eject himself from Michael because they realize, oh shit, he's fucking dead. And just, like, jump out of his mouth into, like, a nearby sewer grate. So, Michael's dead.
On the street. Yike.
Where is he?
Of course he's not dead.
Because Michael is immediately gets back up due to the power of Remnant. Mm-hmm. And, as mentioned before, is Michael an animatronic too? Did he also die? If so, why? Like, did his dad just drop him as a baby? And he was like, oh fuck. Let me make him. I gotta remake this kid. So I don't know, like, I want to believe he's also an animatronic too. I want to believe all his kids were all his siblings were fake. It's a lot of questions.
But Michael looks like his dad. And did William just make a copy of himself?
I don't know. Like, it would be an ego thing.
It would be an ego thing because he might. If the theory right now is that he's the oldest.
Yes. So
maybe he just made a copy of himself before he got married, and then he ended up getting married, or had kids.
Oh my god, that makes perfect. Oh my god, that actually makes sense. Like if
Like, if he's the oldest, then he probably didn't expect having kids of his own, and then he ended up accidentally having kids, and he's like, oh, poop. And then he didn't really care for his other kids. Like, he lured Elizabeth
no. He adored Elizabeth. Like, Elizabeth was Elizabeth, okay, hierarchy of kids.
Okay.
Elizabeth, crying child, Michael.
Oh, then that makes more sense if he's a copy. Because if he's one of the animatronics, then he can be rebuilt.
It does make sense too, because if he's only just an animatronic kid, then I don't really have to pay attention to him. I just gotta pay attention to the actual kids that live.
Yeah, then he can be rebuilt, he can be replaced, he can be memory wiped. Don't matter what he do.
Yeah. This makes way too much sense.
Like, Elizabeth and the crying child matter more, and that's of course why he hates Michael so much. He's the reason for the crying child dying.
Yeah. It's hard. This is just a theory of its own.
Yeah, it's a completely other theory, but it makes a little bit of sense.
It makes a little bit of sense, and I mean, I don't know. I like the idea that okay, so William probably has this perfection thing going on. That he has to have the perfect family. He has to be married and whatnot. But I think at this point, okay, so
no one knows about his wife.
No one knows about his wife. I don't think it's okay. Again, never read the books.
Yeah.
I don't know for certain what happens to Henry's wife or William's wife. I think she might have left the family after what happened with Crying Child. So it's just mostly he's falling apart, but he's trying to perfect this image of he's a perfect father and whatnot. So basically, when you lose a couple of kids, it's kind of looking bad on you.
Yeah, and because if Michael's the eldest, he's probably also the care child, take care of the younger siblings.
Yeah, I think so. Cause his dad's working all day. He's probably bringing the kids to work and making sure that Michael's keeping an eye on his two kids. So it's just a lot of I always think William projects a lot on his own son because he looks exactly like him. So it's just mostly you gotta grow up to be exactly like me, otherwise I'm gonna fucking murder you.
I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Fucking murder you. And then just Michael being, his himself. He doesn't want to be his dad. His dad's a douche. His dad's a dick.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
It's a lot of speculation. I am under the theory that I think at some point before this whole thing started William made an animatronic of Michael and just kept updating.
Kept updating it.
Yeah. So Michael, confused, angry,
half rotting,
he swears to find his father and fucking kill him. So this is where things happen because canonically they have to happen, but I think things can be switched around in this point. Oh yeah, I forgot about this point. A little time later, there's conflict within Ennard. Basically, Baby is rejected from the rest of Ennard because she was being a bitch.
Of course.
And then Ennard splits into Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy. Let me bring
and Baby is Elizabeth, so...
Baby is Elizabeth, yes.
So why did William...
He didn't mean to get Elizabeth. He was trying his efforts to keep her away from Baby.
But Elizabeth got it anyway.
Yeah, because she loves ice cream. So this is Scrap Baby.
Of course.
This will come out later. And then Molten Freddy is basically a bunch of wires.
I hate both of them.
I hate both of them too. They will they will come up later. We got a long time before they come back again.
I was thinking he purposely got Elizabeth into the thing. No, it was an accident.
It was an accident. He loves Elizabeth.
Okay.
But I have this theory that Elizabeth is kind of a little bit like her dad because she has a bitch tendency.
Okay.
Bitch. Okay. So yeah, their whereabouts are unknown for a very long time. We will see them later.
Okay.
FNAF 1, 1993. I am assuming it's 1993 because at the time, at the very beginning, MatPat had a theory that Five Nights at Freddy's, the original game, was inspired by a murder at a Chuck E. Cheese that actually happened in 1993.
Okay.
And yeah. when you look at that theory, it's like, oh man, things kind of lined up, and this theory makes sense, and Scott made 20 other games, and it's just like, okay, it's definitely not that, but I'm going to use 1993 as like
a base.
A base, because that's where minimum wage falls in. So, this is the mentioned new pizzeria that was meant to be opened. So it opened a few years back. I think it opened a few years back prior to the events of this game, so just basically, this is the pizzeria, the original pizzeria from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and this is the version of Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. Let me get images in case you have needed... there we go.
Oh, these ones, the ones with the classic ones. The jackasses that kept popping up with the glowy eyes.
Yeah. Except now they have a tendency to murder all the security guards because their spirits are not at peace. They are not. Everyone's gonna fucking die.
Why not just change the security guard suits so that they don't look like security guards? Fucking video game logic, okay.
So basically, yeah. So Fountain Guy here is like serving as head of the night guards, and he dies prior to the week of FNAF 1, because it's implied that, like, you know, even though he's leaving phone calls, I think they're recording messages that just automatically play for every night guard. Okay. So he dies prior to the events of FNAF Week 1.
Okay.
Mike Schmidt acts as the new night guard and is fired after a week for mishandling the animatronics and smelling a bit weird. It's probably Michael Afton looking for his dad, so that's why whenever I draw human Michael right now, like as Mike Schmidt, I refer to him as Mike Schmidt because I think it's Michael, like, trying to find his dad. And because he's tampering with the animatronics, like, he gets fired for that too. And then just basically after a while, like, the FNAF 1 location closes down due to the reputation of the murdered children. Like, it still can't shake it off.
On top of all the security guards dying.
William Afton fucking dies!
Fucking bitch.
So, this is the event where I think, like, it should have happened before the events of FNAF 1. Like, but in context, kind of doesn't make any sense unless, because of the circumstances. So, I think it should have happened before, but really, I think it's after the event of FNAF 1. So, William realizes, oh shit, there's a bunch of dead kids in these suits. Let me smash them, okay?
Of course he does!
So he goes back to the game building of the FNAF 1 location to destroy the remains of the animatronics, and basically, like, because, okay, it's implied in FNAF 3 that all the 5 spirit locations had a hidden safe room that was, like, kept away from customer knowledge and the animatronic whereabouts of the map. So, basically, he lures all of them to, like, come to this, like, fake wall, and he just, like, came out from behind and just chopped them with an axe. That doesn't go well, because all he does is just release some angry spirits. And being, like, begoogled by ghosts. Basically, all the ghosts corner him, being led by Cassidy, because she's a fucking angry little girl.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Yeah, so they force him to enter one of the old Spring Bonnie suits.
Ooh, because...
And, you know, he's confident that, like, you can't get me, I'm in a fucking Butterbeer costume. Ha ha ha. Due to years of sitting in exposed rain and being a fucking old suit, William suffers a spring lock failure.
Yeah.
I think I have it on my phone. It's a pretty amazing... Yeah, this is how it's represented in the game. It's beautiful. But yeah. So, William succumbs to his wounds and dies on the floor. But he survives.
Of course he survives, little cockroach son of a bitch.
So, yeah, due to Remnant, yada yada yada. Basically, now he has infused with the Spring Bonnie suit. He will be referred to as Spring Trap, because he was bear trapped into his own Spring Bonnie suit, if you get it. However, because he's in a hidden safe room and in a goddamn abandoned building, no one knows where he is, so basically he's just, like, kind of rotting in there for, like, 30 years. Alright, Fazbear Frights opens. I forgot to put an S on that. Okay. The events of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, which approximately, because... Okay, so, like, it's up for speculation whether it happened in 1993 or 2003. I'm gonna say, because of the 1993 date, this approximately happened around 2023.
So 2 years from now?
No, well, yeah, 2 years from now. if the pandemic is still happening, I'm just like... Yeah, William Afton's due to be out soon. So, Fazbear's Fright. It's an amusement park attraction based on the rumors of all the deaths associated with the Freddy Fazbears. Basically run by this guy who's only referred to as Phone Dude. Not to be affiliated with Phone Guy. He's a different dude. He's still voiced by Scott Cawthon. It's great. And just basically, like, it's full of, like, all these old relics from all the pizzerias. Like, they have a box of, like, the old scrapped animatronics, like, whatever bits they could find, but they're still looking for a goddamn animatronic to come in and, like, fucking scare the kids out of the hell of this place. An unknown security guard is asked to make sure the place doesn't crumble before the opening weekend. It's probably Michael. Like, I like this theory that, like, you know, after 20 years or so, like, Michael just got fucking tired of, like, hunting for his dad, and he just thought, you know, I'm just gonna check out this amusement park kid. He's like, what's the worst that could happen? Things change when the Phone Dude and his associates find Springtrap and bring him to the location.
Of course they do.
So basically, Michael fights off his father's advances for... I haven't showed you Springtrap, I just realized. Shit. Okay, I'm just gonna show you this crusty motherfucker. Look at this crusty motherfucker.
Of course.
Yeah. It's gross. So basically, Michael fights off mostly Springtrap because he's the only active animatronic, but there are spirits of animatronics past referred to as the Phantom. They are so hard to look at because they're so dark, so this is the best I could probably manage this render. It's implied that, like, the puppets still survived after all this time, so she's just, like, hanging around. Okay, so there's this event referred to as the Happiest Day. And this is kind of like... Okay, so it's weird. Because it's not explained within the last game of this main story. Okay. How do I start? So, within Five Nights at Freddy's 3, there's a thing referred to as the Happiest Day minigame, which is basically if you did a bunch of, like fourth breaking wall stuff within the game, you would be able to release the souls of at least 4 of the children. Like, it's implied, like, you could release all 6 of the children, like, you know, the main 5, like, the main 5 who died, and Charlie, but that didn't happen in accordance to the, last game. So it is, like, I'm assuming either back when William chopped them up into little bits, or during the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I'm assuming that at least 4 of the kids were released, because they are not mentioned in the last game.
Okay.
So
who's mentioned left?
So, I was assuming that, like, out of the missing children incident, and, you know, Bite of 87, Charlie and Crying Child / Cassidy still remain. Okay. Everyone else is at peace, I think. Okay. Michael sets the attraction on fire with gasoline by the end of the weeks in order to kill his father.
Okay, of course.
But he survives. Fuck, bitch. So that brings us to Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator. Which is anytime, like, a little bit after, like, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 in 2023. I don't know when specifically. It's very frustrating. So, it started as a joke game, because Scott Cawthon was notorious for, like, putting out joke games whenever he, like, was like, oh, guys, check it out, it's my new Five Nights at Freddy's game, and it would just be, like, a little, like, oh, this is just Freddy in space. But it actually turned out to be a legit canon one.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so basically, you, as the player character, are managing an actual pizzeria franchise under the Freddy Fazbear name. So you get to, like, you know, put decorations on the tables, and put out the animatronics, and put out games, and buy ads. It's really Michael. And I'm being serious this time.
Oh,
it's canonically Michael, this game.
You are playing as Michael.
Michael has made it to management. I'm so proud of him. Yeah, I'm being serious.
He's finally doing something outside of the bullshit.
Yeah. Michael's job, aside from running this franchise, is basically he's been told every night to look out in the alley and check to see if there's any like suspicious animatronics that might be sashable, like because this is a pizzeria and you need money somehow. I don't know. So basically, he's got to make sure he has Spring Trap, Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, and Lefty. Let me show you.
Also, Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy pop up now.
Yeah, they got their back after 30 years of bullshit. Okay.
So the two fuckers that almost killed him.
Yeah. Let me show you Lefty, and I gotta show you.
That's Lefty.
That's Lefty. So, Lefty is a specially designed animatronic. It's revealed in Easter eggs that he was made specifically to capture and maintain the puppet. Yeah. So, it's basically Charlie's in there. And then William Afton got hit with an ugly stick in this game. Hang on.
So, Springtrap is looking like, oof.
Yeah. He's not doing so
That's how Springtrap looks in this game?
Yeah, he got hit with an ugly stick in this game, and I don't know why. But okay.
Okay.
Was there... Oh, yeah. So, yeah, there's a ton of introduced animatronics in this game. But
yikes!
Okay, these 4 are important. Everyone else is not important, but it's just fun.
So, who, Orville?
Okay, yeah. So, it's like...
Who's important?
So, yeah, these main 4 right here, everyone else is just mostly...
Our Freddy, our Bonnie, our Chica...
So Rockstar Freddy, Rockstar Barney, Rockstar Chica, Rockstar Foxy, Ned Bear, Happy Frog...
Those 4 are important, right?
Like, the main 4, the ugly 4 right here
are
important.
Okay.
Let's see, Orville the Elephant, Candy Cadet, I forgot the names of the clowns, Pig Patch, Mr. Hippo... I love these. The Bucket Bob, Mr. Can Do, Mr. Hugs, which is just basically a vacuum, like, arms attached, and number 1 Crate, Helpy, who's like a little, like, buddy animatronic friend who helps us run the pizzeria, and he's the best character ever.
There's Puppet.
Funtime Chica, Il Chip, which is a reference to Scott's, like, Chip and Sons game, Music Man, which is a nightmare, I don't want to show you that, Pan Stand, Buddy, Pal, Chum, Security Puppet, Egg Baby, which is it's a complex Easter egg. Prize King, Gumball Hands. So yeah, like most of these are not important. A lot of the animatronics get reused for the next game. I will mention that. My favorite is Candy Cadet. He tells great stories.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just focus mostly. We were focusing on Scrap Baby, Springtrap, Mold Freddy, Lefty.
Yeah, and Lefty is for security.
But yeah, but at the end of the week, a big twist is revealed.
Oh, Jesus.
Henry's back! Bitches!
Oh my goodness!
So, he concocted this whole grand scheme to trap all 4 of these animatronics.
Yes, he did.
Because there were never going to be any kids to begin with. Because the pizzeria was really not a pizzeria. It was a death trap.
Ooh. Henry's pissed.
Henry has arranged it so that as soon as all the animatronics were successfully lured back in, the place turns into basically a huge oven. He's gonna burn them to hell. Melt them down. It's the best fucking speech. Can I actually click?
Yeah, I think you can.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh!
I'm gonna... this is a good speech.
Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No. This was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch. Listen.
even remember that name. But I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still, and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends, for all of us, in communication.
Oh shit.
I know. Okay, and then the rest is just like fucking in-game bullshit.
Okay.
So
That's a speech.
it was the best fucking speech. Oh my god. Everyone had chills about that speech. Oh my god. So yeah, basically,
He apologizes.
apologizes to Charlie, tells Elizabeth to release their hold on their spirits. And
Tells William to eat a
tells
dick.
William to eat a dick now. And then just basically, like, Michael, he understands Michael is where he needs to be. Like, he was gonna offer Michael a way out, but Michael craves death so badly.
Michael's like, let me die.
Just let me die. And then, yeah, Henry agrees, like, you know, all this has to end, me included. The end of the Emilys and the Aftons.
But no, it's not.
Or is it? So, Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night, which is post the events of Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator. I'm getting my words confused. There's so many FNAFs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just basically every animatronic mentioned in Five Nights at Freddy's, including the ones from Pizzeria Simulator who did nothing. 50 animatronics from across the series in a custom mode. Basically, you're trying to do, like, 20 times 50 AI. Like, and it's weird, too, because, like, the cutscenes for completing every challenge are, look, one's, like, Toy Chica's, like, a high school girl, and, like, another one's, like, Freddy and Foxy are in a goddamn anime. It's a weird game. It's a crazy game. There's so much to do. I would never in my life ever play this game. Many YouTubers have tried. But it is kind of sort of lore, because beating the infamous 20 times 50 mode. So it's implied that by this game's logic, given some Easter eggs, this is William's Hell by Cassidy, because she's a fucking angry little girl. Like
Cassidy was the ultimate.
Many of the animatronics keep referring to, like, the one you should not have killed, and it's implied that that's Cassidy, because, like, her name was never mentioned at all in this. Like it took, like, a Reddit user and MatPat to figure out, like, her name from, like coordinates within a word search. Yeah, it was complicated. Like, her name was never mentioned until now, and, like, they just recently figured it out.
Like, no one's ever mentioned her name.
Yeah, no one's ever mentioned her name, except for in the books, but she was like a brief character mention. So yeah, so it's implied that, like, this is probably William's hell. This is the most likely theory. Like, of course he is, because he's fucking screaming. There's a clip of him, like, fucking screaming, like, begging to get out.
Oh.
He's in hell.
Or
there's another theory that says this is Michael's hell, and he's being trapped by his brother, the crying child, and I'm like, no! Just let this boy rest! He's done too much!
He's done too much. Let this be William's hell, fucker.
Just let it be William's hell. Alright. But yeah, completing the infamous 20 times 50 mode gets you a cutscene that shows that Golden Freddy's limp body is still, like, eyes, pupils, like, active, and then just basically, like, shaking, but he can't move. And it's implied that Cassidy and Crying Child, neither of them have been cleansed in the fire.
Oh.
They're still out there. Where? I don't know.
No one knows.
Might get an explanation soon, but for now...
But everyone who knows about it is dead.
Everyone who knew about it is dead.
Henry is dead, Michael's dead, everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead but them. So
anyone who could cleanse them...
Yeah, so they're still out there. We just don't know where for now. The true end of the Emilys and the Aftons.
Yike. That face is not giving me hope.
It's never over.
Why? Son of a bitch, come on.
So yeah, this is where we jump into the recent Five Nights at Freddy's game, which I thought were going to be non-canon, but apparently are canon.
There's more!
So, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, the VR game, which is sometime after Pizzeria similar. I don't know when. I'm loosely guessing at this point.
Okay.
So, basically, this game is basically all the previous mentioned Five Nights
For VR.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy games modded for VR and with, like, mini games for spooks because, you know, first person perspective, ooh, spooky. There's a lot of, like, vent repair with animatronics crawling around. There's a lot of repairing of animatronics, trying not to, like, fucking operation them into jump scaring you.
Yike.
It's just basically the lore of this game is mostly Fazbear Entertainment is using this game to disaway any rumors regarding children murders. Like, those never happen. Like, especially not by, like, some insane, crazy indie developer making other games of his own. Like, he's fucking insane. Nudge, nudge. So they hired a VRT to produce this game for them. And they're allowed access to old company files stored on cassette tapes and other, like, pre-CD technology. I don't know. I'm losing guessing. I'm like, because I haven't really caught up on Help Wanted in the following game after this.
Okay.
Guess who's back?
God damn it, William! Son of a bitch!
So, apparently, like Voldemort, William Afton programmed his consciousness into his old into some old
Michael
code.
didn't die for this bullshit!
So, basically there's a risk of VR testers for this new game being possessed by a bit of William's consciousness, and it's referred to as Glitch Trap. I didn't get a picture of a Glitch Trap. Oh, I forgot. Let me get it, because he's creepy. I don't like him. Ugh. Hang on. Glitch Trap.
I thought for once.
I hate him. I just hate him.
This is ridiculous. What the fuck is this?
I don't know.
I hate it.
It scares me. It's just so creepy.
It's horrible.
I hate it.
Yeah.
So, there was a brief mention of a Jeremy being possessed.
Another Jeremy.
I don't know if it's the same Jeremy from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 Jeremy, because we just had that conversation about how he lost move skills.
I mean, like, because the thing is with the lobotomies, that's what frontal lobe lobotomies, that's what they did in a lot of the mental asylums.
Right.
Through the eye and everything. So, you remember that movie, with all the weird, what was that fucking movie with the Inception style into the dream thing?
Isn't that Inception?
Not Inception, the other one with the girls and the fighting and the weird.
the not the Zack Snyder.
You know what movie I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so at the end where she gets lobotomized.
Yeah.
And she's just standing there and not reacting to anything. That's basically what happens with a frontal lobe injury. That's what they do. So she's not reacting to anything or doing anything. That's a frontal lobe injury.
Okay.
So, like, she can't form thoughts or anything.
Okay, so it's probably definitely not the same Jeremy. I feel so bad.
Yeah,
I
I know. So, like, they can move. They can... You can move them around, but... I feel bad about that. I'm sorry for ruining your headcanon.
How dare you? You're gonna ruin everyone's headcanon.
So sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Everyone
Medical accuracy.
Everyone has their dreams. We're just gonna ignore logic and just have our gay fantasies.
Ignore medical accuracy, because otherwise watching action movies would really fuck up everything.
So yeah. As mentioned, there's a brief mention of Jeremy. Basically, he gets possessed by Glitch Trap and cuts his face open.
Oof.
Yeah, it's not good for that, Jeremy.
You can at least survive that.
Yeah, but what is important is that we are introduced to a character named Vanny.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's short for Vanessa, I'm assuming. So she used to be part of the VR team, is introduced in the game, telling the player that there's to find some hidden cassette tapes in order to wipe Glitch Trap out. Mm-hmm. But it's very implied that, like, if you put them in order, like, if you put them in a certain order, like, she goes from, like, you know, don't put the cassette tapes together to put the cassette tapes together. Mm-hmm. So it's very much implied that she's been already possessed by Glitch Trap. So, and then just basically in the recent DLC added for the game, Curse of Dreadbear, I think it's called, it's shown that Fazbear Entertainment is constructing something big.
Yike.
So.
Did you put your contacts in?
No, I have not.
Go ahead and put it in then.
Okay, I will. When we're done.
Mine. It took me a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make sure I get it in. I can leave it in.
You can just leave it in. It's
right.
fine.
So, Five Nights at Freddy's special delivery coincides with FNAF VR. I don't know if it takes a little bit before or a little bit after, but it's basically, you know, more lore oriented. It's not much for the AR app aside from family lore. It's just basically that, like, Fazbear Entertainment is doing animatronic deliveries via the phone. Oof. And, like, it's basically like Pokemon Go, except you're trying to not die from animatronics. And yeah, they're still suffering with a Glitch Trap issue, because they have, like, in-game, like, screenshots of emails being sent out to different employees associated with the app, and just basically, Vanny going as Ness, like, it's mentioned that she has rainbow streaks in her hair, like a Tumblr user. And then just,
I mean, I would do that.
And it's very much implied that she is struggling for control over her brain with Glitch Trap, because, like, some guy who's being a creep just kind of mentions, like, hey, by the way, why are you Googling, like, how to implicit control over yourself? Like, what's up with that? Okay. Well, with the company computer, by the way. So, yeah, it's... So, yeah. So, we're up to Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, the latest game to come out, which I think might be taking place somewhere in 2025 or 27. I like to think 27, just because of that 87 reference. Yeah, so it's yet to come out, because Scott's like, it's too big, we're struggling with COVID, it's gotta be pushed back to, like, spring.
Makes sense.
Like, winter or spring. So, basically, the whole new place is going to take place in the Freddy Fazbear Makeup Pizzaplex, which is basically...
a mall-sized fucker.
A mall-sized fucker with a golf course, laser tag, and maybe a movie theater.
No!
We've been confirmed about the laser tag and the golf course in the trailer. We don't know about the movie theater. There might be a restaurant based on the trailer. Yeah. So, oh man, I forgot about the... Well, because we don't really have official pics of them, so let me try to bring it up. There's a lot of fan art already. Not that one. I'll just use the lefty. Let's see, Five Nights Glam Rock.
I am very much terrified.
Images. I mean, like, they look fun. Yeah. Shit.
Just show it to me.
Hang on, I gotta fucking... I thought this isn't gonna be in my goddamn audio.
It's fine. Make all the noises.
Oh my god, really? What are you up to? Okay, fine, I'm just gonna use this picture. Glamrock. So,
Good
Glamrock Freddy, or Glamrock Fred, Glamrock Chica, Glamrock Gator, Glamrock Monty or Montgomery Gamer, and Roxanne Wolf.
Yay.
And then some freaky moon-faced animatronic who was in the trailer. He is freaky. I don't want to show you it because it's... Oh god,
I mean, you're gonna have to show me. You've shown me so
fine,
many
hang on.
freaky ass fuckers by so far.
Animatronic. He was like 2 seconds in the trailer.
What the fuck?
I don't know, and I'm scared.
What the hell is this fucker?
I don't know.
He's like one of those weird monster things from Princess Tutu that I did not like.
He kind of reminds me of like looking at the visuals from Danganronpa.
Yeah. Or like, you know those monsters from Puella Magi Madoka Magica?
No. I'm not an anime fan. What are you asking me for?
Oh god, okay. No, like those fuckers. They had the weirdest art style and ugh.
So yeah, so he's there. There might be more freaky animatronics. I don't know. So we're supposedly playing as 2 characters. So,
okay.
Shit, where am I in this?
You have many tabs.
Yeah, I have many tabs. So we're playing as Gregory, who is a small boy being accompanied by Glamrock Freddy, but he's being chased by Vanny. I gotta show you a picture of Vanny, but this is part of her costume. It is kind of creepy. I like Gregory. I don't know why. I just like Gregory. Let me show you a big picture of Vanny.
Vanny, why is she in that costume?
Because, she's being possessed by Glitch Trap.
Oh, I feel bad for her.
And then the second player character, Vanessa. Not to be confused by Vanny, totally not, no.
Vanessa.
She's the female security guard on duty, so we're supposedly, like, having 2 different stories.
What does Vanny look like? Do we know what she looks like?
No, this is Vanny.
Inside the suit. Do we know what she looks like inside the suit?
We do not have confirmation of what she looks like inside
other
the suit.
than the rainbow streaks?
Other than the rainbow streaks. So yes, since it hasn't been released yet, it's time for me to spew off some of my own theories.
Oh goodness.
So, currently the popular theory is that Vanessa and Vanny are one and the same character, because god damn it, how many times are you use Vanny and Vanessa in this?
But the rainbow streaks are setting that off.
Yeah.
Because Vanessa's a fucking blonde.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, as I mentioned in my notes, Vanessa's pure blonde, Vanny's supposed to have rainbow streaks, but we don't know the identity of Vanny without the costume, so it's up for speculation whether this is
unless,
true or not.
like, she has the rainbow streaks, like the hidden rainbow streaks like people have.
That's a good... that might be a good
like
one.
You know, that you only see when you put your hair up in a ponytail?
Oh my god. Yeah, that could be probably good. They could be one and the same character, they could be different characters. We don't really know until this game comes out. Gregory is somehow related to either the Emilys or the Aftons, preferably the Aftons. And
is he Crime Child?
I'm gonna get to that. So, I theorize, okay, like, holy shit, what if Mike had a son? And then I remembered, wait, he died in, like, well, he's a skeleton, how could he have a son? Like, if everything rotted off, what comes off first?
It depends on what is rotting and where it's rotting and what is still functioning, because if he can walk and talk and still eat, was he eating? Was he pooping? What was working? Can he pee?
I don't know.
Was he a eunuch?
I don't know. This is what happens when, like,
if the creator of Scott did not give, like, what exactly was going on, did his skin did his skin just peel off? Was he, like, muscle and on top? Like, what's going on? Because, like,
you think I know?
Like, no, because, like, technically the dick can still work. Semen does not come out only from the dick. The balls are still there. You can artificially inseminate, like... Oh god, this conversation.
So yeah, there was that. And I'm like, okay, maybe not that situation, like, considering that whole conversation we just had right now. And then I was like, oh, maybe shit, a grandkid? Like, he could have had a kid back in, like, 87, like, you know,
That's also
teenage mothers are a thing, so...
Yeah.
Given enough time,
Teen
like,
kids.
that son,
Teen parents.
that child would have had a son, that child could have been, that grandkid can't be Gregory, he could be an Afton and not know it.
That could also be a thing.
So, here's theory 3. Gregory is Michael reincarnated.
Okay.
So, it doesn't make any sense to me, but it's just like, I kind of like this, like, thing with, like, Will and Mike having a thing, so Vanny being the Will stand-in, Gregory being the Michael stand-in.
It could work.
It could work, but, like, the idea is, like, I don't know how Remnant works. I don't know how that would happen if Michael was reincarnated. It'd be cool, but I wouldn't know how it would make logical sense.
Are we sure that Henry only had one child?
I don't know. That's a good point.
We don't know about his wife. Maybe he sent his wife off with the other kids. Like, get the fuck out of Dodge.
Maybe. Like, again, I really have to read, I have to read all the books, because it is implied that, like, Henry was a single parent, so I think he only had one. Well, technically, Charlie had a twin brother, so, in the book, so it could be possible he survived.
And if she had a twin brother, possibly Henry, like, raised him, because he died way later. Yeah. So if the brother survived, then this Gregory could be an Emily.
That's a good point. I've never thought of that.
So this could just be an Emily versus Afton situation.
That's a good point, and a theory I have not yet speculated. So let me continue on with my other theories.
Alright.
So yeah, I made a mention that, like, Gregory has the spirits of crying child and Cassidy within him.
That could be.
Like, unless, like, unlike, that could be a possible reason, unless there's a random animatronic and they just randomly have the spirits of those two together. We'll see. And then I just said, Glamrock Freddy is Michael, and I thought it was like, bruh, imagine Michael coming down from heaven because he finds out his dad's still alive, and he puts himself into Glamrock Freddy. He's like, I'm gonna get this baby out of here, man.
Like, I'm not letting another kid.
I'm not letting another kid die to my dad. So yeah, and then, any post thoughts I have, really, I'm still stuck about, like, stuff that happened before 1983. Like, they say Chica was the first kid. I like to think the puppet was the first kid, and then, like, the other 5 came before. And then William dies before the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, but it doesn't make logical sense because what's he chopping up beforehand? This story.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's really a lot, but, you know, now you know Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes, I know Five Nights at Freddy's.
Hopefully.
It's a lot, but
you're prepared to watch all the playthroughs and the new Security Breach coming out. Hopefully.
I mean, I hate horror games, but, like,
Me
I'm
too.
not one to, like, watch playthroughs, so I'm probably gonna end up downloading these fuckers. Like, oh god, I'm gonna hate playing these games.
Well, okay. Security Breach might be hard because considering it's a PS5 exclusive, so...
Ugh. But, like, the other ones I can probably download on my computer.
Yeah, they're all on Steam.
Yeah. So, like, I'll do that eventually. Yeah. Like, ugh.
Just,
oh my god, there's so many conundrums, and, like, there's so much lore in this fucking game.
Lore. Like, Matt was basically crying, like, he basically made a rule from himself where he was like, I have to discredit some lore mentioned in, like, the first, like, few original games, because, you know, like, Five Nights at Freddy's 1, basically it was, like, Scott's last hurrah. He was making Christian video games at that point, but, like,
he basically made it as, like, a fuck everything, I'm doing something fun.
Basically he made it out of pure spite, because, like, the Chip and Sons video game he made, basically everyone was saying, like, oh, these look creepy, these look like animatronics, and he's like, you know what, if I can take your comments, and I'm gonna make it be eaten. So it was just basically, like, his last hurrah. He wasn't expecting the game to blow up so popularly, so Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and 3 were basically, like, shit, I'm making up stuff that's like, oh.
So, like, the lore is just kind of cobbled together.
It's pretty much cobbled together. I would say around... Between Five Nights at Freddy's 4 and Sister Location, he started hiring someone to help him write the story out and just come up with a concrete
yeah, that makes sense, because if you're a video game developer, it's kind of hard to make a story. Yeah. One and dones are easier because it's like a start and finish, but making something that goes from story to story to story and making a cohesive narrative is hard.
Yeah.
And especially when you have all these overarching characters and shit.
Yeah.
It's all of these storylines.
Oh, the storylines.
Oh,
And yeah, like the story being told in bits and pieces. Like, this is the cohesive story. If I told you it in order as, like, the games were represented, like, we would fucking explode.
Yeah, like, yeah, I know, like, you jumped from game to game, not in even order. You went from, like, 2 to 4 to 1 to 3 to, like,
yeah.
like in a way that made sense. If you had gone from 1, 2, 3, 4, I would have been like, what?
Yeah.
Like, none of that would have made sense.
Yeah, but that's, like, that's for, like, the Neo version of Five Nights at Freddy's when, like, I finally have information from Security Breach, all the theories have been made. I'm gonna, like, do a big, massive slideshow where, like, everything's explained.
Yeah, you probably want to save this and edit this one,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're gonna have to restart all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. That's the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm probably gonna share this audio with my friends.
Yeah, go ahead, please. They're gonna listen to us freaking out the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Okay. So that was my video. Please rate and subscribe. Alright, that's a perfect end for this.
Lovely. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Alright.
There we go.
I'm ended. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Oh my god. Hey, fuck.